Hey loves, I hope you're having an absolutely fantastic day today. In this video, I wanted to discuss how manifesting your specific person can be easy and effortless if we want to make it that way. And we'll discuss a few different things that really encompass this idea. And by the end of the video, you're really going to feel the same exact way. So, what is it that we think of when we think about manifestation, right? As soon as we begin to really assume or live in our end state, we begin to feel and think the shift is hard, right? Sometimes we feel like we need to work harder, try harder, to move into the wish fulfilled and feel as if we already have our specific person. But it doesn't have to be this way when we think of trying harder to get quicker and faster results. And it all comes down to what we feel is truly easy and natural when it comes to living in the end of our wish fulfilled. The more natural and easy something feels, the easier it actually is to assume that state, and then the easier it is to maintain and fulfill it. And this is going to be the same process when it comes to manifesting a specific person. And I want you to think upon right now any habit that you have, right? Does it feel easy or difficult to assume that habit, whether it be something very good or something very bad? How do you feel the eases to getting into that? And a really easy one to think about is going to be social media. How quick and easy is it for you to reach for your phone and go on any or your favorite social media app? I would say it's pretty easy, almost to the point where it is mindless. And even if you tried, let's say sometimes you try to go on a social media detox, you have found that it's really kind of hard to break that habit. And again, you'll find your hand automatically reaching for your phone in your pocket without you even thinking about it. And even right now, you might be like, okay, Kyle, but what does that have to do with manifesting? And what I want you to do and try out either tonight or tomorrow, when the next time you brush your teeth, if you use your right hand or your left hand, I want you to use the opposite hand. And then tell me how easy or how much more difficult it is to do this. And you already know because you probably tried this before, but if you normally brush with your right hand and you try your left hand, you're going to find out it feels so much harder to brush with your left hand. And you may be thinking, well, why is that? How come? Well, it makes sense because you're habitually always brushing with your right hand. And even if you think about your entire morning routine when it comes to waking up and getting ready, all of it becomes easy and effortless and almost mindless to the point where you don't even have to try. You're automatically running through all of those routines without even thinking about it. And this is a perfect relation to manifesting an SP, or actually manifesting anything for that matter. And even if this would actually be a really good technique to try, or just a little task to try when you're really, really tired. If you wake up when you're really, really tired and you go to brush your teeth with your right hand and you switch to your left, you're going to notice that your mind kind of wakes up a little bit because it takes more energy and effort initially to kind of switch or alter and change that thought process or that habitual and natural state that we have always been in. And this is actually why many people begin to assume manifesting an SP or manifesting anything can be hard or it's too difficult. Because as we begin to remain in a state, it becomes automatic and natural for us. But as we break out of it, we begin to, our mind and body want to stay where we feel the most safe, the most natural, and the most automatic. And that's going to be whatever state you're in at the current moment. So, but as you begin to shift out of that, you begin to see, again, it becomes easier and easier. In the same way that if you were to be brushing with your right hand all the time, and then you switch to your left hand and you continue with that, you're going to notice now brushing with your left hand becomes the easiest and simplest way, and your right hand is actually awkward and weird to brush your teeth with. But this is how it's going to be when it comes to manifesting a specific person, or again, getting into the state of whatever it is that you want. And in many of, I would say actually all my coaching sessions, when people begin to really implement and understand this idea, they realize that I've heard many people say, I'm using 1/10 of the effort and getting 10 times the results. And that's the truth. Because again, and you've heard me say it a billion different times, and maybe you haven't even believed me in the past, but manifestation is meant to be easy and effortless. It's not meant to be difficult. It's not meant to be hard. It's meant to be easy and effortless. In the same way as you assume that natural state of feeling loved and abundant, you're going to see love and abundance come extremely easy to you. And I'll even give you an example or another idea to think about. If you're still like, I still don't get it, Kyle. What does this have to do with actually living in the end? But I want you to compare and contrast two different individuals. So the first individual is going to be the most positive, abundant, amazing person that you've ever met. They just totally encompass and embody positivity, completely to its core. Again, the most positive person you've ever met. And on the other hand, I want you to imagine the most depressed or negative person that you've ever heard of, ever seen. Everything they do encompasses and breeds more negativity or depression. And so you have these two people. Would you say that the happy person is very easy and good at being happy, and the depressed person is very easy and good at being depressed? You'd say, yeah, that's their natural state. And you may even say, oh, well, this person just got lucky, right? They're positive and abundant because of luck. They just got lucky, and that's why they're in the state that they're in. And then this person is just unlucky, and that's why they're in the state that they're in. But think about the word lucky and unlucky. And again, I would always say, always assume that you're lucky. But luck, when you think about it, really means that you feel as if something above and beyond outside of you is kind of giving you this stuff by chance. So when we say this person's lucky, we're saying they don't really control their emotions, but they accidentally found their way into that. And when this person is unlucky, they didn't control their emotions. They just found their way into that. But I'm going to blow that idea completely out of the water right here and right now. So let's take both of these individuals. Let's say that you were to force them to act in the opposite. So think of that most positive person you've ever seen. We are forcing them to act as the negative, and then the negative person, we're forcing them to act as the positive. And if you have been in either of these states, you know to do the opposite is really, really difficult, right? The positive person's going to have a really hard time thinking negatively, acting negatively, because it's not what they do, and it's just not who they are. And the same thing with the depressed person. The depressed person, to think positively, abundantly, through love and commitment and all these amazing positive emotions, they're going to feel difficult and hard at first. But think about if we force them to do that over time, over not a long period of time, but let's say to do it for a week. The positive person just has to assume the state of the negative. It's going to switch, and you're going to find that they habitually now, the positive person habitually is now that negative person, and that's what's becoming natural and automatic for them because that's their natural state that they have been assuming. And the same thing goes for the depressed person. But again, at the beginning, it felt really, really difficult, and they probably resented the idea of switching. But now it's really, really easy because every state is just an accumulation of those assumptions, which again are based upon your beliefs and thoughts and all of that, which give rise to those assumptions. But anything you're assuming to be is gonna be. So when you think about these two individuals, that's the same thing of living in the end and living in your current state. Switching will feel difficult at first only because it's not the natural state of things. But then as you assume it, you get into that state of ease and effortlessness that I always talk about in all of my videos. So I want you guys to try that, especially just try out the toothbrushing exercise and then let me know how it goes. If you did have any questions on this, leave it in the comments section below. Remember, you can also reach out to me on my website for one-on-one coaching, or if you wanted any personal questions to ask me, head over to Kyle August, coaching.com. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up on this video, and then also don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much for stopping by today. I can't wait for you guys to use this idea, but I'll see you in the next video.